after somebody to beat. We have people that I don't want to name names, but we want to beat. And if we do beat them, we know we're going to be on top. And I'm sure they're the same way. That makes good for good compatibility. You know, if they're gunning for us, that's great. If they can get around us, well, we're going to work harder.
Fred Freeman is among the modified tractor pullers keeping the heat on the Banner brothers. Freeman out of Wadesville, Indiana, can mount no more than 5 engines on his mean mistreater, but is widely respected for his ability to win despite being outmuscled on occasion. Pat Friels of Ireland, Kentucky, appropriately named his expensive 5-engine tractor the Dollar Devil. Tractors like his often cost around $150,000 to build, with a single engine draining the pocketbook at around $20,000. The Banner brothers, Freeman and Friels, all use iron block Chevrolet motors, which are less expensive and less powerful than the aluminum block motors mounted on Paul Norman's war wagon. Still, experience is all this newcomer from Charlotte, North Carolina needs to be ranked among the crafty veterans. Here's a look at some of the other top vehicles in modified tractor pulling. The closest pulling vehicle to a farm tractor is the super stock tractor, affectionately known as smokers. But looks are deceiving. While a stock farm tractor usually generates less than 200 horsepower, a super stock pulling tractor is 10 times as powerful. Army asked Asden Lane of Dayton, Minnesota, to explain how he creates all that power.
You know, the turbochargers have come into motorsports in the last 10 years, but I have never in my life seen as many turbos on one vehicle as we're looking at on your super stock tractor.
Now, this is all different pressure stages here. These turbos here, they gather air, and it compresses it into another turbocharger, and then we just go and we get it compressed in another one before it goes into the manifold, into the motor on the stock block of this international tractor.
So the only piece that we're actually looking at now that is international is the block itself?
Yes, that's it. Just the stock block and cylinder head at the moment.
Out of curiosity, what is the total horsepower you're making right now with your super stock tractor?
Oh, we're upwards around 1,800 to 2,000 horsepower.
When it comes off the showroom floor, so to speak, from international, what is the horsepower?
The stock one was like 160 to 180 horsepower.
Fans of super stock pulling love to root for their favorite brands of farm tractors. The Gettinger brothers of Milton, Indiana, usually have more than their share of fans because they campaign 3 brands of tractors: International, John Deere, and Alice Chalmers. The Gettingers have won 6 national TNT championships. If pulling is the most powerful sport on earth, then those larger-than-life monster trucks make up the wildest of all motorsports. Join us for a hop, skip, and a jump through the latest phenomenon for monster trucks. bizarre side-by-side racing and meet some of the stars of this new sport, the daredevils who risk it all. So buckle up and hang on for the ride of your life as we introduce you to the Renegades TNT Monster Truck Challenge. Monster trucks do much more than crush cars these days. These huge machines, armed with racing motors and 6-foot-tall tires, are now competing in heart-stopping side-by-side drag racing. The Renegades TNT Monster Truck Challenge is the world's only monster racing series. Drivers go all out because they're building valuable points at each of the 30 events toward a hefty year-end purse. Now, take a look at actual monster truck races in Hampton, Virginia and Louisville, Kentucky, as called by Richard Leake and Army Armstrong on ESPN.
You're ready for the semifinals, but two guys won't be there, Army. Bigfoot got beat by just showing off, but now he can't make it.
Just received word Hoffaker did severe damage to the rear suspension on the just showing off. He lost his rear steer, and Bigfoot goes out by losing the front steer on the trucks.
All right, so these guys, though, are in the semifinals. Local favorite, hero, grave digger, that is Dennis Anderson, up against the rookie driver Rod Litzow in the USA 1 machine, waiting for the green to go off right now as the two are lined up side by side. First round of semifinal action.
Litzow trying to make a name for himself right out of the box, a little out of shape. Anderson takes advantage of it, Richardson. He's trying to lead him, and Litzow's in trouble. Anderson won't quit. He goes after him.
Dennis Anderson is going to get the win over Rod Litzow in the USA 1 machine. The local favorite may have trouble. You see smoke coming out of the back, though, right there of the Gravedigger machine. Smoke coming out of the rear compartment where his engine is. Let's go trackside with Army Armstrong and Dennis Anderson.
Well, Dennis Anderson with the Gravedigger, he is going into the final, but it looks like it cost you something. We noticed the rear suspension, you got a lot of oil or grease coming out back here. Do you have any idea what it is, Dennis?
Yeah, I think I just wasted my motor. I might have thrown a rod in it, and when I pulled up here, I noticed I lost oil pressure, and so I'm out now.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see a tough break, ladies and gentlemen. Dennis Anderson with the Gravedigger doing a super job in front of his own hometown crowd. Let's hope he can get back in this thing. Good luck, Dennis.
Well, Army, we just got word that, in fact, Dennis Anderson won't be back. That means the USA 1 machine right there of Rod Litzow, the rookie driver, moves to the finals against the winner of this matchup. And this is interesting. Carolina Crusher, which has won every one of his races tonight, up against King Crunch, who has yet to win a race.
King Crunch hasn't won a race yet, but everybody that beats him, they break when they beat him, and he advances up into their spot.
And on a foggy night, there you see the local driver, Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger, going slowly to his grave with a blown motor. Not in the finals tonight for Dennis Anderson. But these two guys are fighting to get to the finals. We're waiting for the green light to fall, and there it is, and off goes the Carolina Crusher.
What a hole shot again, working the left side. Earlier, Porter told us the left's the place to go. He's proven it. Stevens trying to come back on him. I don't believe he's going to hold him off, Richard. The Carolina Crusher sets up an old Chevrolet final.
All right, it is Gary Porter, the winner, over King Crunch and Scott Stevens. So now Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher moves into the finals against the USA 1 machine, the rookie driver Rod Litzow. And earlier today, Army Armstrong spent some time with Rod talking about his machine.
Well, let me ask you, since it's going to be the first time out in the truck, you got to be a little apprehensive this afternoon. We've got a 7:30 start here chasing these Renegade points. What's going through your mind? How do you prepare? You're a long way from home. You've got about, what, $100,000 worth of another man's equipment. What's going through your mind right now?
Nervous, real nervous right now. Just psych myself up. That's all I put on my mind is what I'm going to do out there, try to put everything else out of my mind.
In what capacity have you been around the monster trucks?
Well, I was a custom painter, and I've taken care of the paint work, just traveled with it, putting the tires on. I was a,